I didn't intend to start today's video outside of the Mondstadt gates, but I feel like this fits the idea of this video very, very well, which is the last video before we go to Snezhnaya. It feels like almost fitting, I guess, as well, in some ways. But this is where my character was when I booted up the game, and I was like, I better warp to the place where we're going to be, like, exploring. But I don't know, it felt right. It felt right. We're heading to Snezhnaya next week. This is the last video of Genshin before we head to the new region. And once again, everything will change so drastically in terms of story that it almost feels like the peacefulness of the first area we came to in this game is fitting. It's very fitting. Hello, baby gangsters. This is Calvin Olsen and his Romer, and today we're going to be doing some exploration and answering some questions. I have some questions lined up for you guys as well. A lot of the questions are about Snezhnaya, which is great, and some of them will have similar themes to them. But I do think that the reason why I put together so many questions that are about Snezhnaya that have similar ideas, but I still think they're different enough that it will make a fully realized conversation through them as well. It's not just Snezhnaya stuff; it's also some fun side stuff too. There's gonna be some nice questions here, and I actually like the questions so much here. I usually get really great questions for this stuff. If your question wasn't answered, don't feel bad. That's just something that it happens. You can't answer every question. But it's one of those things where every time we do one of these, it's actually okay, every question is really, really good. Oh, this is a good thing. Look, we have rewards waiting. You might notice we're playing on Xbox Series X right now instead of PlayStation. And it's not any console war thing where I'm Xbox better, you know? It's more of a case that I have a Series X and I need storage, because Genshin and Honkai on the same machine takes up a lot of storage. So you can't get Honkai on Xbox, so Genshin was transferred over to my Series X. It's the same resolution, same frame rate, same game, same account. It's just that now we have Xbox controls, so it's yeah, it's the same thing. I will admit, it was heartbreaking a little bit to to delete Genshin off my PlayStation. Even though I still have it, and it's not I'm done with it, you know. There was still a heartbreaking feeling of being oh man, this is the longest running game on my machine, you know. What can you do, you know? You gotta make room. You gotta make room. Yeah. And as I said, same resolution, same game, same account. So we're doing good. We're definitely doing good. How do you activate these, by the way, over here? Is there a thing you have to connect them to other places? Because I'm looking at the map here. Is it oh, there seems to be connectors. There's the bubble pool. There's this, Is this a quest? If it is a quest, then we might not be able to get this stuff. So if I go to this one here like this. Ah, some snacks. Newly arranged stores, crackers. Beside the message scribbled on the ground in slime constant. They're all for you, Eggy. Oh my god. Paimon's such a sweetheart. Oh my god. But I guess maybe we could travel to over here as well. To see if I just want to see if we can activate this right now. I hope we can through this, and we can get the first question out as well. The first question is from Jewel Knight Jess, and say if you could get a new. Oh my god, this is so amazing! It's such a great feeling exploring this place. If you get a new outfit for any character, who would you pick, and what sort of outfit would you like to see? My vote is for Bunny Suit Al Hatham. So some of you guys, this is glorious. Some of you guys may know that I'm not a huge fan of the outfit for I'm gonna get killed. This first question, I'm gonna get killed. I'm not a huge fan of the outfit for and I would probably get a new alt outfit for him, I guess, as well. But one thing I actually think would be really, really cool. I know he already has an alt outfit, but this is so great, man. The scale of this place is incredible. One thing I think would be really cool to get an alt outfit for. Another alt outfit is Diluc, but what I would like for Diluc is almost a fancy suit, right? A kind of a tuxedo, maybe and again, you could do the quest be it's after a party or something, And like you could say like, well, they don't really have like a lot of suits. They do. Like in Fontaine, they have suits, but like he goes to a party in Fontaine, like for some reason. And when he goes to that party, he like is wearing a suit. It's an untied bow as well, right? The tuxedo bow, like the dicky bow, like it's like untied. His shirt's unbuttoned a little bit. You can't tell me that wouldn't be so sick, right? You can't tell me that wouldn't be such a sick idea for an outfit, just seeing him like that. And you could even have like Kaya wear like a similar thing, allowing for So you just, okay, so you travel from place to place with this stuff. Okay, that's cool. That's really cool. That's a great way of doing it, right? And then you can activate this stuff. Yeah, that's a really great way of doing that. You can't tell me that wouldn't look cool. Imagine the two of them together as well, you know? And you could say, well, how would they get to Fontaine? But it's like, man, like Genshin finds ways of getting characters to different places all the time. Like, look at, there's so many different locations we haven't even seen in this place as well. But again, this place is so pretty. It's one of the most gorgeous locations ever, and one of the most like breathtaking like locations ever too. But yeah, I think like a Kaya and D-Luke alt outfit for a suit like post-party Fontaine would be really, really cool, and you could even see him do like combat in as well. Look at that, we get to see him when we're looking below us too. It's so cool. Like they did the scale of this place so well. They really did. My mount made weird sound there. I'm trying to think what else we could actually pick here. Like I think again in terms of, oh my god, look at the, again I keep getting sidetracked by what's happening on the screen. But yeah, like Diluc and Kaya definitely for like those type of suit outfits as well. I love Sidlali's recent alt outfit. Oh my god, it's incredible. It's such a great outfit. It's the first time I've actually contemplated being like, let's do it. You know, let's buy this. I haven't bought it yet, but like imagine like it'd be my first thing I ever actually like, you know, buy in the game after years. It's like just this really awesome outfit. The music is so crazy. It's beautiful. Like it's beautiful music. Let me activate another one of these as well. And you see like Tavat like in the distance as well. Yeah. I also would love to see like medieval armor. Like I would love to see like they're going into like the final battle of maybe like around, because my oh, that's really cool. My theory is that the final battle will happen around Mondstadt. And I think it'd be really cool to see like some characters put on some extra armor, you know what I mean? Like see Betty with like, you know, like plated armor and stuff like that too. That'd be really cool as well. But that, yeah, that's what I'd say as well. The next question is from Flowerbit, and they say, do you have any theories on the Fatui project, Fatui's project Stuzha? We first heard about it all the way back in Arlecchino's story quest. We know it seems to be directed by Piero and Pulcinella, but it seems to have all the Harbingers involved. Since we're going to Snezhnaya now, I'm thinking we'll learn more soon. Being completely real with you, like I barely remember everything about it. But I do know they were talking about the Gnosis when that was happening as well. I do know it was a situation where people were talking about, oh yeah, exhaustion, man. Oh my god. I do know it was a thing where the House of Heart were like put in like a prominent position when it came to it as well. So we have to make it over here, right? Yeah, we have to make it all the way up here through exhaustion and get to here if we want to get to whatever this is. My theory is when it comes to whatever this is, it has, if it's being approved by the Tsaritsa, I know that she doesn't have to approve everything. I know that with the Tsaritsa, like it's people can, you know, do what they want more often than not, as long as they're not encroaching on the main mission. But if it is like to do with the main mission, I would say that it probably has something to do with I would say it probably has something to do with the, oh, awesome. I would say it probably has something to do with the idea of the Heavenly Principles. And I think it's maybe like an idea that like they're going to like use the Gnoses to do something to the Heavenly Principles. The Harbingers obviously are not people that like adhere to the Heavenly Principles. Now, are you still coming up behind me? Crazy. And I feel What is where are you? You cannot hit me from there. That's illegal. Where are you? Do you think you can do that? Go home, buddy. Yeah, I think it has something to do with heavenly principles. And I think as well, like, you know, if you're taking the Gnosis, which were given to people by the heavenly principles, I do think that it is a thing where, in my view, that you're trying to, like, change whatever they set in motion. You're trying to utilize the same type of stuff that they have or that they use. Or the things that they've enacted and brought into this world for your own self as well. And again, I'm not, like, too well versed on, like, what it is and what it could be. There has to be a ball that goes here, right? On what it could be or all this stuff, too. Like, I'm not always, like, you know, the most knowledgeable person as it pertains to that type of stuff. Especially since, like, you know, I vaguely remember the project thing you're talking about. I do, however, think that that would be, like, a really... Oh, is this... You can you shoot this stuff out of here? Yeah. I do, however... Oh, we have to also, like, open... Oh, my God. Oh, you have to do, like, a double whammy on this? So I have to... Equal parts do this. We have to put this in here and then activate it. But I do think it's something to do with, like, changing, like, or doing something to the Harbingers. Or not the Harbingers. Doing something to, the Heavenly Principles. And I think it's obviously, like, it has to... I think it does have to do with the Gnosis, right? Like, it does have to do with, like, the collection in the Gnosis, too. Because they were talking about that as well with, I believe when it came to... Was it Linny who was talking? Hey, yay. Oh, you can just jump through it. I know why I'm doing that. Yeah. But yeah, sorry, I'm not, like, as well versed in that stuff. But that's kind of, like, what my estimation would be at this very moment in time. Something to do with the Heavenly Principles. Something to, like, change the, like, natural, like, order of the world, maybe. Whatever was set in motion with the Heavenly Principles, they want to, like, maybe, like, reverse as well. That's the way I look at it. In some ways. Very cool. I love the activation stuff in this. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. I only have the names, the names of the ats, but Basaru says, do you have any theories of what's coming next? What is your favorite aspect of the game in general and why? Characters, exploration, main story, or gameplay? In terms of what's coming next, I probably, as I always say, I probably will disappoint people with, like, you know, my... Because I don't... to be honest, like, it's really... Oh? What? I'll be completely real. I don't think about it as much as... I probably should. When it comes to, like, what I think is coming next, as I said, like, if I can talk about that really quickly, is, like, in my... which I will talk about it. Not quickly. For me, I think the final battle here... Storm incapacitate. Is that the slow thing again? Arcaline Storm is forming. For me, I think the final battle is heading towards a Mondstadt battle. I have a vision in my mind. And I really do have this vision in my mind of, like, everything culminating in Mondstadt. There's going to be an epic battle. There's going to be, like, people who, like you know, the dying and fighting for their lives. It's going to be absolutely brutal. But it's going to be, like, one of the most, like, impressive stories, I suppose. Yeah. How do we... I'm trying to get to, like, a certain area here on the map, as you see here. I'm trying to get over here, and I imagine it has something to do with this as well, but... Maybe if it is a quest area, that's fine, too. But we probably have to do this really quickly, because we're getting locked. It's like... You see what I mean? Do we have to... No. Aha! We got there in time. Yeah, that's what I think is going. I know, like, it's like one of those things where, like, I'm, like, you know, thinking so far ahead with this stuff maybe as well, but, like, that's what I expect in my mind. It's like a full scale, like, Mondstadt battle. where people are dying, people are suffering, people are trying their best to fight back against everything. It is like the final, and honestly, I generally think that like it's going to be a thing where, whilst I know a lot of people say the Heavenly Principles aren't generally like considered like the enemies, or like they're not always like considered like, because some people like, you know, talk about them in a nuanced sense, and some people don't talk about them in like, you know, in and it's all fair when people go like, oh, this is this and this, but like I can't, the Heavenly Principles to me are enemies, are bad people, well, bad entities. You can't do all the stuff that they did and then still be like, you know, fine and dandy with me. It just doesn't work like that personally. But yeah, I do think it's going to be like some sort of battle with members of the Heavenly Principles. I do think that maybe aspects of the... I don't think we're going to have like this like dire hatred for like the Shades. I don't think it's going to be a situation where they're going to be like, F you, buddy. Wait, well, oh, we have to avoid these. Look at this area, man. These freaking like... Wait, we hit that? Like the chasms and all this stuff too? But yeah, final battle in Mondstadt. Epic encounter. Oh god, what? I disagree. I disagree with that one. And it's complicated because, as I said, like I think that we will have like a thing where we fight alongside our sister. I think that like it's gonna be. I don't think it's just gonna be reuniting and then the game ends or this arc ends. I do think it's gonna be a reuniting of like, we're finally like on the same side, we're finally on the same team, and then we got work to do. I think we're gonna have a whole other like, you know, shorter but like ending arc after the reunite as well. I can't see them just like, and here's the thing, if it does end up just like, you know, the Traveler and you know, Lumine, you know, hugging each other, and that's the beautiful ending, and it's like, oh my god, they finally reunited. I feel like it's leaving a lot of money on the table. I feel like an entire arc where we're just with Lumine for like the last arc would be absolutely incredible. I think they definitely should, like, you know, try that out. Is this actually the location? It's really pretty. Very, very cool. I mean, we're teleporting waypoint as well. But yeah, and in terms of my favorite aspects about Genshin Impact, it's always going to be story stuff. Whoa. It's always going to be story stuff. It's weird playing with an Xbox controller. Oh my god, it's so weird. It's the weirdest feeling in the world. I actually like enjoy Archon Quest quite a bit, right? I do, just like anyone else. I love a good Archon Quest. But I also really just like, I think that, like, you know, I've had some of my favorite memories ever inside story quests. Like, it's because the thing is, like, Archon Quest, like, always, of course, like, they're like, it's like, yeah, they're incredible. The stories are absolutely insane, right? But I do think there's like some magic to a story quest, right? It's like this contained story, not always contained. Sometimes it has like more of a deeper like aspect to the story too. But I kind of like that it has like its own kind of like feel to it sometimes. You have like almost like a beginning and middle and end sometimes. And I think the reason why story quests work so well when we do get them, whether it be a Linnea story quest or a, you know, Escoffier or something like that as well. The reason why they work so well for me personally is they are like a calm down from like the craziness of an Archon Quest. And again, that's just, I'm saying the craziness of an Archon Quest works, I feel like, because we do get like self-contained stories. It's like this big gigantic arc of a story we get to have as well. The amazing, you know, story quest where there's like a feeling of like it's kind of self-contained works so well as well, because it is like this because we just went through hours and hours of pain, right? That's why it works so well. To me, anyway. It's like they work together. They work together to make something absolutely amazing. But I think it's like, when I think of like the Navia story quest or something like that as well, I feel warmth. And I think it's probably the intention too, where it's like, they probably want you to feel that warmth, right? They probably want you to feel kind of like, oh, this feels amazing. This feels fun. This is more lovely than doing an Archon Quest. Because I feel like, you know, Archon Quests, I shouldn't have done this now, but we have it done, so we might as well go for it. I feel like with Archon Quests, And because we could have a official and we could have a Benny thing going here as well. But I feel like Archon Quest, like almost like to an intentional degree, they can be so brutal and painful. But those happy moments in the Archon Quests are what make those brutal moments like mean so much more, right? And that's what I'm saying with the story quests too. The story quests mean more. How did that happen? Because we had this brutality in a quest. The ending to an Archon quest when like we're hugging Paimon means more because we went through so much pain. So the story quests are like a safe haven sometimes. Even though they have some very dark quests, like the Lowen story quest, oh my god, it's incredible, but it's so dark. It's still like this self-contained comfort, right? For sure, for me. Yeah. What did we just do? What did I just do? What is this? What did... A boat? What is that? Is it... What? That's gorgeous. The boat... Oh my god. Oh my god, what the hell? Yeah, but that's my answer to that question, guys, as well. Oh my god. Destiny Ultimate Dork asks, what is something you miss in your Genshin playthroughs and something you're glad you see now? Look at I just noticed this up here as well. It's so cool. For me, like I do miss the way that Hangout quests were done. I do. I think that the Hangouts were really great. And I know it's like I understand that they like change them around. Holy hell, what the hell are we witnessing here? What are we witnessing here, man? If this is part of a quest, that would be, it's gonna be so funny. What? What?
Sonnet, you've been ditching work and sneaking out to play with humans more and more
What?
often these past few years, haven't you?
Is this part of a quest? What? The Moon Sisters? What the hell are we doing here? Sorry, Destiny Ultimate Dork. I'll answer your question in a minute. What the hell's happening here?
What's the big deal? We can just leave the work to those Moon Envoys anyway, right?
Sure.
You've taken a shine to our new Master Sisters, and they're willing to send subordinates to share our work. So what choice do I have?
There's such pretty designs as well. There's such pretty designs.
Besides, you've been having a great time playing around too, Canon. You even participated in a human festival.
Again, great designs.
That was part of my duty. Their high priest called my name. It was only
So this is from the
respond
past.
to
So
their
this is them
voices.
like this is us seeing like a vision of the past of them, I guess.
Is pretending to be an ordinary human
designs,
girl
man.
and dancing in front of your own statue also one of your duties?
Again, I love the way they ground these amazing beings, right, in Genshin. They'll like be like these like crazy, like powerful, like beings that sound like they're from a fairy tale in this game, and they will still ground them. Like Nicole and Alice are a perfect example of that too, right?
Aria.
That's adorable, Canon. That's adorable. They're back and
I
forth.
wasn't asking you to call my name. Oh, forget it. Since the new Moon Envoy doesn't mind helping Sonnet with her work.
Zabai. Her name is
Zabai!
You really should remember people's names.
This is so cool.
Since Zabai has no objections, I have nothing more to say. However, Sonnet, as the will of the moon, you must not forget the basic formula that keeps the world running. Prepare yourself. I will set you some foundational problems on verifying morphological isomorphisms. You are not to go back to the surface until you have solved them all.
Oh, a task?
How mean. You're just like a villain from an Earthbound novel, trying to drag the runaway princess back to the moon.
love this. Is such a sweet conversation. I did not expect this whatsoever, guys. Whatsoever.
What she said.
What she said.
You are the moon. Don't say things like that.
What the hell, man? The memory from distant past phase. That's such a like a. Wow, man. That's such a great idea to just have placed here within this. Like, what a great idea. Wait. Oh, it's not a conversational thing. It's a power thing as well. And we gained some of their power also. So how? Oh, they're all here. Oh my god. So happy I came here, by the way. What a cool... Again, we saw the three Moon Sisters. They're talking about Zabai. They're talking about... You okay? They're talking about Zabai. They're having like a little, like a charming conversation with each other, which feels, again, very grounded as well. What a great idea. But yeah, awesome. So, I'm buzzing, man. That's so fun. That's so fun. But yeah, in terms of the question that was asked, I miss hangout events. I think that they were like really, really fantastically placed things in Genshin. And I think that like I know why they don't do anymore, because they're definitely worried that, not worried, they know a lot of people don't play them as much. And here's the thing, right? Like, and I don't mean this in a bad way, and I hope it doesn't sound like in a bad way. Bubble pool, let's go. Hangouts, when I first did them on the channel, like were like the most like they were like just as like popular as anything else. Then over time, of course, they became less popular. And that's what's so interesting about it, is like, and you can say, well, Cam, that's just your channel, of course, but I do think that like there's like a direct correlation sometimes where you go like the Archon quest is always going to be like the most like popular thing, of course. And what's interesting is like for a while from the Lake Full of Colors, oh yeah. What's interesting from my perspective as well, if you want to know an interesting thing, world quests were doing better than story quests. World quests were doing better, like we're doing just as good sometimes as an Archon quest. And I think that's just because, like, you know, we did the, after we did the R&R quest, I think people were kind of like, oh, I can come here for, like, these type of quests. But over time, I think after Fontaine and then the Natlan quest, I think some people probably got burnt out on this quest. But yeah, as I said, like, I understand. Oh, yeah? I understand why they don't do anymore, because they're not as popular, and they've also integrated them into different features and stuff like that too. But personally, I just love the hangout event. I think they're really fun. And some of you, I know I got another question that I didn't put in here, but someone was like, well, you do the Noel quest as well. I think it's also one of those things where like I always have to say, like, me being like, oh, I really like, you know, love the hangout quest, like doesn't always mean like we're gonna like do the like all the hangout events, you know what I mean? I know it sounds kind of hypocritical in some ways, and maybe, but I don't think it does. I think it's the same thing where it's like, you know, I love, you know, world quests, but that doesn't mean I'm going to do every world quest. You know what I mean? I love doing, you know, exploration. That doesn't mean we're going to explore everywhere. You know, it doesn't mean like we have to do everything just because we like something. And I don't think it's mutually exclusive to be like, hey, I would like more hangout of quests to be done, and then say like, well, you didn't do the Noel one. And it's like, yeah, true. And like, there is an aspect where it's like, okay, just do that one, and we will eventually. But yeah, 100%. And in terms of like what's new, I think that Genshin made so many. Oh, look, this is really pretty, isn't it? Genshin has made so many fantastic updates. Genshin has made, has changed so many things from when I started that like just make things easier. Like the example I would give is like, you know, that you can now like, you know, find flowers on the map. That's to me is like something that like I will never take for granted whatsoever. There's also the element now with Genshin that you can, in Archon Quest, they give you apparently they're going to give us the information about like history and stuff against one of their characters. I wish they would do that for more missions, but that's such a good idea as well. Look, all these different elemental like squishies over here, and the big one. Oh, I didn't even notice the big one. That's a really, really great feature as well. I think that they've made a lot of quality of life things that do really well also. Prism Slime. Is this a... Oh no. Oh no. Is this gonna be really tough? Maybe?
Everybody stand back.
We'll see. Okay, we're doing good damage. Let's get out of here. Run! Ah! Help! Hey, Eggy! Nin, help! Very cool to have that there though as well. Oh yeah, a lot of quality of life though is what I'd say. Like mainly the flower stuff. I love the change with the menu thing. I think the anecdotes are great, even though I haven't got a chance to do all of them. I think the anecdotes are fantastic. I think they did such a good job with those. Those anecdotes are really, really cool. And I'm trying to think of anything else that like really changed. People might disagree with me. I love the way that they've made Archon quests into these big cinematic things. I love original Archon quests where there's like, they're a lot, the pacing is like a lot faster. But like, I can't say enough good things about how like the Nod Karai Archon quest just felt like big, gigantic, epic trilogies every single time there was an update. It felt like a trilogy of movies every update. It was really fantastic. But yeah, that's what I would say as well. Dawn Sunstrider asks, who are you pulling for or wanting to pull for next? Is there any character from Honkai Star Rail you want to be transferred to Genshin? Who will it be and why? And thank you for your beautiful content as always. Thank you for asking this question and for watching my content. Thank you so much. In terms of like who I'm wanting to pull for next, the only character I have in my mind right now is Cyno. That's it. Cyno is kind of like the character like that's kind of eluded me, but I think it's going to be one of those things where he might just end up in those like he was in the banner recently in those like the different style of banner. It's not the usual style, but yeah, Cyno is definitely the person I want to pull for next. In terms of like the which Honkai Star Rail character would I love to be here, genuinely I would love to see Blade. I think that like if they could do some sort of warped story where like an alternate reality where Blade comes here and like because I would think that what the interesting thing would be was like Blade versus the Traveler in a fight starting off, right? That's the first thing we see. This is gorgeous, isn't it? It's so pretty. Blade versus the Traveler in a fight. Looks really pretty over there. So that looks like a quest. So we'll just maybe go around that. Gorgeous stuff, isn't it? It's really gorgeous. Yeah, Blade versus... So my dream would be the Blade versus the Traveler in a fight, right? Somehow, like, Dan Heng and Blade get transferred into Genshin, into the vat. It's like a fish out of water story. Blade senses, like, some immense energy from the Traveler, and he's like, buddy, who is this? This guy is, like, not from here. And he, like, questions him. Oh, God. Man, you can stop that. That's okay. Wait, where are we? Where'd you put me here? So this place is going to be harder to explore because we don't get to have like freedom of exploration. So it might just be a thing where we don't need to walk around it. We can just look down here as well. Because it might not be necessarily fun to do that as well. But we can head back here as well. Yeah. What's around? What's here? Is that just leave space? Yeah, but it's a pretty place. I don't need to like run around here like if it's gonna be like one of those things where I'm gonna get trapped. It's really, really stunning. It's a really stunning place. But yeah, the Blade like at first fights the Traveler, and then realize, and then can you imagine Blade like, or oh god, can you imagine like Kafka? Can you imagine the Stellar Hunters meeting the Fatui Harbingers? Kafka meeting Arcano would be so freaking great. It'd be so cool. Like I think in March. Actually, no. You know what's better? I was gonna say March and Paimon. Can you imagine like Dan Heng and Paimon? Because I think that like like Dan Heng is really knowledgeable, but he's not even nearly like a know-it-all or anything, right? We can just warp somewhere, right? We can because we're heading here anyway. The idea is that I maybe want to go towards here. Yeah. He's not a know-it-all. He's always just a really, really like lovely when it comes to like doling out his information and stuff like that as well. What's the best? How do we get over here? Because usually it's like there's some sort of transfer point, right? We have to go here anyway, by the way, Nungian Circle. Do we travel from here to there? Possibly? Maybe not. Moontide Sea. I'll travel over here, I guess, because we still have stuff to activate over here. We haven't even gone here. So yeah, we'll travel over here. I did not want... Okay. Beautiful place. Beautiful place. But we don't need to go there right now. But yeah, like Kafka, like meeting Artikinio, Dan Heng and Paimon having this like really fun thing where like, again, Paimon I think would appreciate Dan Heng's like, intelligence, but then also Dan Heng is such a softie that he would like be like, he'd listen to every one of Paimon's like complaints and everything. and teach her some stuff. I think that'd be such a sweet encounter. The blades fighting side by side with the Traveler would be so freaking sick. That would be my answer to that as well. Lemon K4H says, well, first of all, what are your expectations for or theories on what will encounter Snezhnaya plot-wise and mechanics-wise? Is there anything you want to improve or change besides the ability not to trigger world quests without a toggle? If any character could get a second playable version, who would it be? Actually, I won't. I'll cut out the example just because I don't want. That's not your fault. It's just, you know, I don't want to, in case anyone hasn't played it. Also, if we could have a second Genshin manga, like the one in introduced Kale, which nation do you think should it take place? If I had a choice to say Inazuma, because that poor nation has been in content drought for a good while. Yeah, I think that the last time was the Flower Fest, right? The Makawa Flower Festival. So in terms of like theories I have for Snezhnaya, in terms of the other ones will be easier to answer, I feel like. Is there anything I want improved in Genshin? A lot, you know, my main criticisms do come around the world quest. As I said, they're like, you know, not activating. You said, like, you know, not toggle, like not having it be activated without a toggle, like really is frustrating. Having quests just start like randomly. I don't like how quickly dialogue goes by, how fast it goes by. And people say, well, Calvin, it's because it's the translation. 110%. But like then, like, I feel like we can acknowledge that while also at the same time too still acknowledge the fact that like it's bothersome for a playthrough, right? And not just a playthrough, but like I think for anything, like, you know, you could say, well, Calvin, like, just, you know, I can read it really fast as well. And here, that's totally fine. But I'm just saying from my perspective, like what I wanted that as well. In terms of improvements Genshin can make, weapon systems. I know they won't do this. What is happening? These all, again, we're not doing quests today. Boar, you're gonna be in trouble. You're gonna be trapped there, okay? We're not doing quests today. Alright? Sorry to tell you. I'm sorry, you're gonna be trapped for a little while. It's gonna be a thing. But yeah, the biggest thing for me is collecting stuff for weapons. I don't enjoy the crafting of weapons in this game. I actually just dislike it. And see, people might say, well, Calvin, the reason why it's so difficult, not so difficult, the reason why it takes time is because you have to earn your weapon. And to that, I would say, fair. But to I also will say, it's also fair to be like, I don't like doing it. It is not fun for me. And it's just, and the reason why it's not fun is that like every single time I go to like, you know, collect it, people are like, oh, this weapon is pretty good for your character. I'll be like, okay, let's check it out. And then like I see like I have to like do like, you know, weekly bosses that you might not even get to drop. This is a really cool area, isn't it? But then again, this whole like planet or space is really awesome as well. Like, oh my god, what is this? Where are we? Like, again, it's so crazy how expansive these areas can be. No. I'm not doing a quest. Me saying no to a quest before they even do anything. But yeah, like it's one of those things where if they could make that easier, I'd be so happy. And in terms of where I would want the comic book to be, I think that, again, I have never thought about it, but I do think that the comic book is great. I think it was great to have it in Mondstadt. Inazuma would be really fun as well. I think Fontaine would be really good for like a historic murder mystery. I think having a comic book that's centered around the Narcissus Croix would be really great. I think that, you know, they've already expanded on them a great deal, and people will be like, look, how many we've seen so much Croix. Oh my god, it's too much at this stage. But I think they have such an interesting story that, like, you know, them as kids are like seeing like directly like stories about them growing up and seeing the dynamic and them and how they went down the wrong path, and seeing that visually in a comic book would be really, really interesting. In terms of the way they did it for Kale, like you'd want like maybe a character. Actually, I know that it's one of those things where like it can be very difficult to do this, and like people don't want this to. Wait, is this? Can I go down here? It's a really interesting area. But I think that, you know, what they did for Kale in the comic book is. Oh god. Oh god, what is this? What is this? What they did for Kale in the comic book is fantastic. Oh! It's the greenhouse! I'm gonna die. It's a freaking greenhouse. That's so cool. We saw this on the way up as well. Oh my god, that's so cool. That is so, so cool, guys. Oh my god, it's Maggie's greenhouse. That is legitimately such a cool thing. Oh, I was so curious about this place ever since we saw it. Oh. Can we jump down there? Does that look, it looks maybe like too low. Maybe you can get down there. But yeah, man, this is awesome. And again, to answer that question, yeah, I think that, like, yeah, it's like, I think doing it for a character, a new character, maybe a Snezhnaya character, where in between Act 1 of Snezhnaya, we have like a comic book release where all of a sudden, like, we're talking about a new character we never met before. And in between each act, a new comic book chapter is released. By the last act of Snezhnaya, then, this character shows up, and we already have, like, an expansive feeling towards them. And again, as I said, it's totally fair, I think, if someone says, well, Calvin, you don't watch the trailers when it comes to characters, and you expect us to read a comic book for the travelers, for the characters, to learn a new character? And it's like, yeah, it is kind of like a little bit hypocritical, but again, it's my answer. It's what I want. I don't watch the trailers, but I'll read a comic book. Which I think is different. You know, the trailers like show off like the stuff that's gonna be happening in the story. The comic book was very clearly like, you know, made to be like, you know, read before you go to like Sumeru, in my view. But yeah, whenever I answer something like this, we gotta acknowledge it's gonna be from Calvin's perspective and what Calvin wants. We can't get through there. This is one of my favorite things we've ever seen, guys. I'm so happy we went to explore here. Because I was like, oh, is the moon that big that we can explore locations and actually see these places? I might have to like explore more places than just the moon. And yeah, we end up like seeing this area instead. Take me home. No? Okay. It's really great. It's really great. And in terms of my theories about Snezhnaya, right? Again, as I said, I'm not really that much of a theory person. I've never been that much of a theory person when it comes to stuff. I kind of just like take everything as it goes. And you guys know, like, even in my videos, like, I don't even aim to be ever like, you know, I don't mind being wrong about stuff. In fact, being wrong about stuff when stuff is better than what I thought it was going to be is always a joy. It's, Jesus Christ, it's such a joy. You know what I mean? And even stuff that I didn't expect is such a joy. In terms of like maybe like big, like in terms of like what my theories are about what's gonna be happening in Snezhnaya, because it is supposed to be like very cold, right? It says Snezhnaya, right? It's supposed to be cold. We're thinking snow. We're thinking like things are gonna be like really like dangerous in that sense as well. My theory is that like not like in terms of this place is gonna be cold. I don't mean just like about the cold weather. I do think that in Snezhnaya we will have a feeling in this place that is different from any other feeling we've had ever since. I know this is barely a theory; it's more of like a thought. But I'm not saying I hope it doesn't sound like I'm doing the stereotype of like colder places have colder people. But I think a lot of times in colder locations, like let's be real, people have a lot more things to worry about than the cold weather, right? It's then other issues. They have the cold weather to worry about, so they have a lot more things to worry about than like, you know, sometimes the stuff you worry about. So I don't think I wonder if we're going to have like less of celebrity status there. But the thing is as well though, at the same time too, I'm like, it says Naya, so and they have Fatui Harbingers and all the Fatui Harbingers knew us, so maybe that's actually interesting to think about. It could be a thing where we are the most celebrity we've ever been in Snezhnaya, or we're the least. It could be a thing where we're the most well-known, or people are just like, who cares, right? Because again, in colder climates, people have much more stuff to worry about than like, you know, what's happening with this person, what's happening with that person. It's not that people in colder climates are cold. I've been to colder places. People are lovely. People are kind. Everyone's varied. But I do think it's one of those things that like maybe like, you know, changing the like personality of like the location where it's, because again, they've done that before, right? Like for example, when you go to Liyue, people care about business, right? When you go to, I think it's we've explored like a lot of like, we can go up there maybe. People care a lot about business. When you go to Inazuma, it's claustrophobic and people like treat you like very like, you know, you have to like almost like be a fugitive in a place where you've done nothing wrong, right? Can we get up there? Do you think we can get up there? We'd have to like activate 2 of these if we can do that in some ways. I can do this. When you go to like, you know, Fontaine, you're met with like this like artistic, I don't know if we can get up here. Beautifully artistic character in Farina, and everything feels very theatrical and amazing, right? When you go to like, you know, all right, when you go to Sumeru, it's very natural, right? And the world feels very like, you know, dependent on natural stuff, and like it's way more in touch with nature. Like there's a different location. I think that in Snezhnaya, because the place is so cold, I wonder if they're gonna lead into like a cold personality, a cold feeling, or is it gonna be a thing where people are like, yeah, that's the traveler. Of course it's a traveler, buddy. Like of course it is. I don't know. That's my kind of like thing talking again. Sorry, it's not a theory. I don't have a lot of theories. I'll be honest with you. I just like love what's going on. I think like if you say like any like story theories, I think that like the Fatui Harbingers are going to be a thorn in our side again. I don't think it's a thing just because we made friends with a lot of the Harbingers. I think that at some point we once again will be in not only trouble with the Fatui Harbingers, but I think it's going to be a thing where we are going to do something that puts us at odds with the Tsaritsa and with the Harbingers. I could be wrong. Again, if I'm wrong and we have like the most joyous time with the Tsaritsa, I'm game. You know what I mean? But that's just what I'm thinking about now. But thank you for the question. And that leads beautifully into the next question from Angel. What are you expecting from the Tsaritsa? Do you think she'll be going against the Traveler? And what do you think her plans are with the Gnosis? So again, as I said, like we talked about like what they could be doing with the Gnosis and like what the project they have as well. I do think the Gnosis, first of all, is, as I said, is something against the Heavenly Principles. I think they want to change things completely with the Heavenly Principles. I think they want to take the order the Heavenly Principles have put in place and maybe like, you know, change things around or something. Again, and you can say, well, that's very Dotori, right? But I think Dotori, like, am I wrong in saying that Dotori's way of doing it was very detrimental to, like, the world in a lot of ways, right? Whereas I feel like with the Harbingers, I don't think they want to destroy the world. I think they do have their sights set on like the idea of the Heavenly Principles. Because why would they be? Because again, if you're collecting Gnosis, it does seem to me like there is like a feeling of like, you know, that's something that the Heavenly Principles enacted onto this world, gave to this world. Now, it could be a thing, again, as I said, it could, because maybe people might say that lines up too much with Dotori, but I do think that is, like, if you are collecting those Gnosis, and you're constantly doing this plan with these powerful Gnosis, you are aiming to do something massive, change something huge, do something pretty big, and since they were given by the Heavenly Principles, to me, that screams the idea of like changing something that the Heavenly Principles enacted. The Gnosis are given to Archons as almost like this pillar of like, this is why you have these for this specific reason to like anchor this like, you know, this position you have in this world. It's almost like they maybe want to change like how that world works or how the world looks or whatever. That's my thought process on this. In terms of Tsaritsa and like, will she be on our side? I think it's gonna be one of the most interesting questions ever. For my estimate, I think we can leave here right now, right? Like, kind of just a good, really cool look at this place, too. It's really, really cool. In my estimation, I'm not quite sure... I'm not quite entirely sure how I feel about it right now. I will say, I did feel a weird fear during the Dotori quest that I was going to lose respect for a character that by all the times you hear her, she is a character that like you, it's hard not to, in my view, kind of respect. And it's not like I'm saying like she's a saint and she's beautiful and I love her. But like every time you hear about her, she's always like talked about in a way that's like, okay, that's awesome. Oh, she's okay, so she doesn't actually like hate us. Oh, so she did this. Oh, she treats these people like this. Oh, okay, so she actually gave these people a home. Oh, she decided to not go after Columbina because once she realized that Columbina like, and again, I do think you could say that like there's also political aspects to it too, right? Not going after Columbina after basically not all of Nod Karai rallied behind her would be a terrible idea. The whole thing with this Sumeru stuff, for example, like what happened in Sumeru, like, you know, it's like it's not a nice thing. We have to be honest with ourselves. It's not like oh my god, how generous that they decided not to do anything weird for a while. It's like, yeah, because they're worried that the political implications of what happened with the Tory are going to like F up the relationship with the people. But I do have a lot of respect for Tsaritsa in the way that they act. And when it came to the stuff with the Tory, I remember like saying, and you guys probably remember me saying this. I said and it might have been, I might not have said it in the video, it might have been a reply to a comment or something. But I remember specifically thinking, if the Tsaritsa does not have a problem with the Tory, then I will lose respect for her. And it's not because I think like, oh, she has to bend to my will. But it's more like, to me, Dotori was going against what she wanted. And I said that, I did say this in the videos. I said this with Arlecchino as well. Like, Arlecchino will, I remember even saying, I think it was like what happened with Dotori with, when he first showed up for Columbina. Like, he was going against what she wanted here. So I was like, I will lose respect for her if all of a sudden she's like, yeah, Dotori's cool. Like, what can you do, you know? But instead she like went like, yeah, if you see Dotori, guys, get him, you know? So I gained a lot of respect for her. In terms of like how she's gonna act here, like I think she will be politically and generous with us. I think she will be kind to us. I don't think that Tsaritsa is going to be evil. In fact, I think she would want to meet us, right? Just like every single Harbinger has had a thought process of wanting to meet us. I think that she will want to meet us. But I think that, as I said before, there will be some stepping on toes, as always. Because whilst, and here's the thing, it can go either way. We can have a thing where all of a sudden we like, you know, we're stepping on toes and all of a sudden we work together. Like, for example, I think like, you know, with the captain, it did feel like there was like some toe stepping from both sides, where like it felt like the captain was like, well, you're right now, you know, you're not, I don't hate you, but like I need to do something. And we're like, well, we don't hate you either, but we need to do something. And there will be kind of that feeling as well, I think, again, from my estimation. I think we will start off really well with the Tsaritsa, but there is a possibility at some point that like we will possibly piss off all the Tsaritsa, possibly step on her toes in some ways. And then the problem then that comes to it, and it will be really interesting if this happens. And as I said, I'll take either way. I trust Genshin. I trust Genshin completely. If they give us a story where we step on the toes of Tsaritsa and all of a sudden it's a thing where like we have this like boss run of like refighting Arlecchino, right? Where the Tsaritsa's like, you have to fight the Traveler. Now, there could be two things that happen there as well, where Arlecchino goes, I'm not fighting the Traveler. I can't do this. Or it's a thing where it's like, I'm not going to kill him, but I'm going to like incapacitate him for our mission, right? Whatever it is. Again, not that we're going to be against the mission. Again, I don't know. We might not be against the mission. It could be a thing where it's the opposite, where
Adventure time.
Instead of like, where it feels like there's a lot of tension, but almost very quickly we become like pals with like Tartaglia, like, you know, vouches for us, and like Arlecchino vouches for us. And she sees the way we treat a Columbine and the way we treat people in the world, and maybe she might actually have like more of a softer approach to us. I don't know, but all I do know is that like it's one of the most interesting things to think about. I know nothing about the Tsaritsa. I know nothing about Snezhnaya yet. Beyond that, it's cold, and probably like, I don't know if it's like one of those things where like, did they reveal anything in like maybe trailers or something like that? Maybe like they talked about her in some ways since then. But like maybe like you heard like, you know, the jester being like, the Tsaritsa will she likes sponge cake, and like you guys know she likes sponge cake or something. That usually happens sometimes, but like, oh, the veil. The veil, very cool. That's all. As far as I know, I just know like from stories of what we heard so far about like the Tsaritsa, you know, pardoning people and do certain things like this as well. So I don't know, but that's my estimation of what will happen. I think that it will be, there'll be a lot of tension. I think she will meet us very kindly. I don't think she's going to be like, this mother effer, you know, right away. I think she has a respect for us. I think she would have I think the fact that her harbingers have an immense amount of respect for us is a big deal as well. So I do think there's going to be a meeting of respect, but I do think there could be some toe stepping. And then I do think there could be an element of a reconciled friendship. There could be some battles with harbingers that we weren't expecting. We don't know. But again, I do think there will be respect. There will be respect between us and the Tsaritsa on the baseline. Excuse me. And this isn't me covering my bases, by the way. I want to make it clear. I'm not sitting here being like, she will like us or she will hate us. I mean it like in a literal like story sense. I think like there are like I don't mind being wrong in theories, but as I said, I do think we're gonna meet her. She's gonna be respectful towards us, and then I think it could be some toe stepping, and then we could be at odds with her. But I do think that we're gonna leave Snezhnaya with a favorable view of the Tsaritsa. That's my view. I think that way. But as I said, I would be totally over the moon as well if like we end Snezhnaya when the Tsaritsa and the Harbingers are like in the most heartbreaking way possible. Like the image of us like maybe on the ground after being like nearly destroyed by Tsaritsa as they're about to enact whatever plan they're doing if we're against their plan. And we're like hand reached out towards them like, ah. And like we look back and Tartagula's looking back on us. He's sad. And Arlecchino looks back at us and she's like looking downtrodden about this as well. Sandrone is looking back on us as like maybe like a door is closing for whatever plan they're enacting. And it's just like a weird theory, a weird look at this. And then like we realize, oh my God, like this is so sad, but so dangerous as well. But I actually think that if that does come to that, where like we have to fight the Harbingers, I do have a theory that Tartagula will leave the Harbingers. I do think he will. I think Tartagula... I think that Tartagula adores us so much so... Huh? What? A wanderer's prepared to created by the ancient dragons restore now ruined devices by manipulating the secret source of the dragon idol on the screen to collect data fragments. However, the repair might fail if you come into contact with obstacles. But watch out for damaged data nodes when collecting data fragments. But if you cause this corrupted data to collide with the secret source dragon idol, who knows what might happen to repair? Wait, is it like Snake? No way, it's freaking Snake. What are we doing here, guys? Oh. Oh, is that it? It's Snake. But yeah, that's my view on what's going to happen with the Tsaritsa. For now, anyway. Juliana asks, what's your craziest Genshin theory or headcanon? Now, again, as I said, I'm not really huge on like the idea of like having theories. I don't really have like a lot of crazy theories. In terms of like, oh God, look at this, man. It's so cool. This looks like where we were before, right? Oh no, we're going to, oh yeah, it's a completely different place. Nar. Oh, we're going to New Zealand, guys. Come on. Show me where Hobbiton is. Nar. I know it's N-A-U-R-R. Nar. In terms of like a headcanon, in terms of like what I believe is true, obviously for me it's that Genshin has some relationships that they cannot tell you exactly that they are real or true. The example I would get, look at that, the snake just hanging over the thing. Oh my God. Oh my God, look at it, it's like flopped over. That's so, wait, they're all like, there's a destroyed one here? Or not, it's just like different pieces. I think it is a destroyed one. I think that, sorry. I think that Cyno and Tighnari are a couple. And people will go like, you know, oh, like, you know, wait, where are we going from here? Over to here? Maybe we should have explored this place. We'll explore this place first, I guess. Can we not jump out? Oh, I guess you can. Okay, that's fine. And it's like people will always like, I'll always get people being like, I don't agree with that. I see them more as like best friends, and that's fine, right? I want to make that clear. It's a headcanon, right? But it's also like, for me, it's like, that's my canon, right? That's what I believe. When you watch my series, you know that I don't even joke about that. It's baseline, just like what it is. I also believe that, like, you know, that Alhaitham and Kavi are like a married couple. Now, what's so interesting about that too is that, like, I have gotten like people in the past saying like, you know, oh wait, this is the spaceship, the Traveler's Crater. So sick. So sick. Oh my God, very cool. But yeah, I have gotten, like, again, I want to make clear, it's one comment I remember I got before, and it's not that big of a deal. They weren't even being that mean. They were like, I'm not really a big fan of the shipping culture in your videos, which is so funny to me, because, like, if you look back at all my videos, like, I would say I have, like, that was, like the Cyno Tighnari thing was the first time I shipped anyone together. Huh? You're here? Columbine, you're here. What? Now you're here too. I suppose we're here together. You said it as if I knew you knew I'd come. I didn't know when, but I knew you'd come eventually. Just there's always a pull between the moon and Tevat. You'll always find your way to me, don't you? Oh my god, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Come see me while I saved you a seat. Lovely, yeah, sure. Oh my god, this is lovely. So cool. But yeah, like to answer the question before we get into this stuff here as well, that's my headcanon, but then also, as I said, like just to talk about that as well, like I feel like I like ship people, and there's nothing wrong with shipping. I don't care like people ship, but I feel like people would say, like, if you look at my videos, like there's like barely any like at all. I would say like 0.5% of my entire videos. Again, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think it's one of those things where like I think what usually happens is people see like a ship they don't like, where I'm like, oh, I ship Tighnari and Cyno. And the way to combat that is by saying like, oh, I hate shipping culture, and they say it's in my videos, where the reality is like, I don't do that. Like, yeah, it's like you said, well, Calvin, what about, you know, the Traveler and Ayaka? Yeah, I think that they went on a date, right? I didn't say they're a couple, but I know that was a date, what they went on. What about Lolly and the Traveler? Yeah, a date, right? And people say, well, does he have multiple girlfriends or multiple whatever? Here's the thing, whether it's Lumine or Ether, whoever went on those, they both went on those dates, right? Whatever it is that in that way, right? You know, Jet as well, would people see that too? But like, you know, he's not married to anyone. He's not in a couple with anyone. Lumine's not in a couple with anyone. He just goes on some dates sometimes, you know? That's normal, right? He goes on a date once every few years, you know? It's nice. That's what, you know, that's not me shipping someone. That's just saying like, yeah, he went on a date. He went on a nice picnic with Lolly. And he went to a nice festival with Ayaka, you know? It's just a date. Lovely. They love the dates, you know? That's what kind of my main headcanon as well. I hope that like is a good enough answer as well. Last time we sat on your ship, we were looking at Tevat. Let's look at the stars this time. I love her so much. Nin and those that came before her were drawn to those stars. There must be a different kind of gravity here. I can feel it. Nin and the message she sent. Don't worry, she's not in danger. She traveled very, very far in safety. So far, I can no longer sense the power I used to guide her on her way. But I'm curious. About what? All kinds of things, for instance. Would a message from Moongazer ever be received by someone else? Whoever receives it, or whatever may receive it, who might they be? What would they think? Would they know love and hatred just like us? These are really beautiful questions, right? Like, because that's the thing, is like, if someone doesn't know love but knows hatred and answers this question, that's terrifying, right? Will they still be drawn to the beautiful yet mysterious sky above, even with the abyss closing in around them just like us? Would they, like us, also want to find others, wave at them and say, hello, friend, I'm happy to meet you? And of course you'd love that, because she loves like punching people too in friendship too. But yeah, very, very lovely. Absolutely lovely. You know, and again, her desire for friendship has always been one of the most beautiful things in this game. Out there in the depths of the starry sky, there are still civilizations untouched by the darkness. Are there still? I think, yeah, 100%. I think that like the fact that we're still finding places shows that like even in Tevat, we find new locations like every single like patch, almost every single like few patches. Our ship once received a message. What kind of message? Almost like a meaningful, all of its meaningful content was lost, but it might have come from an intelligent civilization. Lost, was it because we traveled too far? Still, even this much is encouraging enough. By the way, Wonder, your birthplace is out there too, isn't it? If one day you decide to return to where your journey began to clean it up, I'd be glad to lend a hand just like you helped me with the moon. Then I won't forget to invite you, the Traveler and Calamina. Let's go to the moon. Let's go to our homeland, I should say. That's so beautiful that she would offer for that as well. Another party? Another party. Then what do you think of calling it home returning night? What if it's during the day? They are so close with each other. The fact that they can like quip back and forth with each other like this is so sweet. Then we'll celebrate all day until night falls. We can invite all our good friends. Sounds like it's going to be very fun. May the night arrive beneath the clear skies with friends reunited. Beautiful, man. Absolutely gorgeous that they give us that. Right? It's so cool. That, and the stuff with the Moon Sisters, like just such a nice thing there as well, right? Like imagine that, like, you know, like I'm talking about like, you know, shipping two gay guys, and then like we get like, you know, a beautiful you know, ship here as well. And I'm talking about this spaceship here. Look at this. But I know people also say Columbina. Like for me, like that's the thing. That's what's so interesting about like with the people's headcanon when it comes to relationships. I've had people say like they think Columbina and the Traveler would be like a good couple. For me, it's like, and some people say Sandrone and Columbina would be a good couple. For me, it's like both those things are like pure friendship. That's me. That's my view, right? But then everyone has their own viewpoint of that as well. I know people might say, well, Calvin, like, so you ship two guys together, but you're against the two girl ships. Hey, lesbians, right? You're amazing. You're cool. You're fantastic. I support you in every way. And also, like, as I said, canon, it is canon that if Aether went on a date with Ayaka, then Lumine did too. If Aether went on a date with Citlali, then Lumine did too, right? I don't know if that's how it works. Like I'm pretty sure like it's the same dialogue, right? It's the same thing. And in some cases it's different. Like Jet holds on to Lumine's waist apparently, So yeah, 100%. Like, it's just that my focus was on Sino and Tonari is what I would say as well. But there's a lot of themes in this game I think that are overlooked when it comes to girlhood, when it comes to the strength of women together. I think that I think one of my favorite, and this is not I'm talking about two women being romantically linked together. I think one of my favorite things about the Harbingers is the girlhood between Arlecchino, Sandrone, Columbina, and Rosaline. And when I say girlhood, it's like that notion of like we are all in this together. We know our own plights. We know what we go through. We know what women go through. We enjoy our time together and we support each other. And they embody that, right? They embody. And there's some people who can say, "Well, Calvin, what are you talking about? What problems do they go through?" It's like I'm talking about like in general in life. You can feel the energy of them that they will support each other through everything, and they can share an experience with each other because they are women, right? And I think it is like a really beautiful thing between all of them, and I love it. It's one of my favorite things about the Harbingers is that girlhood between all those characters. But yeah, that's the kind of way I look at it as well. Is that another repair we can do down here as well? Or are we going to start getting suffocated down here? Great location, by the way. Very dark. Very spooky. The next question is from Lilac Haven. What do you think the Tsaritsa will look like? Which of the Traveler's elements is your favorite to use? And back in the UA Arc Quest, Zhongli made a contract to end all contracts with Tsaritsa, but still never said what he got in exchange for giving her the Gnosis. What do you think it was? So, this is recorded way later in the night. I forgot to answer the question about what I think the Tsaritsa looks like. And really, I've always had the same image in my head of what the Tsaritsa looks like. And it's always been like kind of, for some reason, blonde hair always comes to mind. I think there is kind of like a regal nature to them, but I also think that like, maybe I always picture like a long, like, robe that has like fluffy stuff on it, like like the way you'd see like those fancy robes that people that like actors wear in like the 50s and stuff like that as well. They have like the fluffy kind of like not feathers, but it's like fluff around the. It's not a fluffy jacket, but it's like really fancy and like kind of like maybe kind of like made of like some really velvety material or something. But I always like pictured that, and I always pictured like a very like serious demeanor about them as well. But like beyond that, like I haven't really thought about like the actual facial features of what the full outfit would be. But that's what I always picture the Tsaritsa as like blonde hair, very fancy, regal, but like kind of like official. You know what I mean? There's like maybe like a little bit of like a fancy casual business casual thing going on. Who knows? I don't know, but I always just imagine like the robe and like the blonde hair. That's what I always like think of. My thought process on, first of all, the stuff with Zhongli, probably to keep the people of Liyue out of it, maybe to keep them. Oh, this is gonna be. I think this is a request. It's fine. Yeah, we don't have to go too near that as well. Yeah, it's a quest. It's a quest. That's fine. We can stay away from that, but we can look at it from a distance. It's really, really cool as well. Love the smokiness of this place. But yeah, I do think that like Zhongli, whilst he leaves the people of Liyue to fend for themselves, we've seen he will jump in when needs be. He is that dad that's like, I want you to learn the value of protecting yourself and looking out for yourself, okay? Okay, Dad, but like, can I get a... No, I'm sick of helping you. You gotta look out for yourself, okay? But then as soon as anything goes wrong, like they like hurt their finger a little bit, Oh, come here, honey. That's Zhongli where he's like, Li Wei, you gotta look out for yourself now, okay? I can't be constantly protecting you, right? I can't. Xiao trips and hurts his knee. I'm coming. All right, I'll be right there. So I do think it is maybe to protect them in some ways. Really cool location here as well, isn't it? Is that bombs? No? Okay. Yeah, that's what I think for that. The other part of the question was which of the elements is my favorite to use? I think I have like all the animal lads, right? Well, I think I have most of them. The animal characters are really, really fun to use. They have a really good dynamic aspect to them, but I would say, like, to me, the most fun combination ever to use, in my view, and the most fun move to use is literally, like, a lot of electro, because you can feel the power of it. I feel like, I know it sounds very, like, cliche, but, like, when you do this, and Fischl's doing her thing and Oz is attacking and you're attacking with another weapon, it feels amazing. Just to go into my character menu here as well, which we can actually change characters for a second here. I don't know if it's elements, but I can say it's characters as well. Yai Miko, so fun to use as well. She's incredible to use. Actually, and again, Navi is one of the most fun to use. I think that Claran's electricity, again, that's what the reason I'm saying is, like, the most fun. I think that, like, the most, like, because then Vaughn is amazing too. This is like one of my like Vaughn is amazing as well. Xiao is really fun because I'm thinking of characters more than I think of elements. But when I think of elements, like, I do think of, like, to me, like doing this, that combo. So I do think electricity can be a part of that. But I think the most satisfying stuff there is Electro and, in some ways, Nahida's Dendro. So I would say maybe Electro is what I think is I'm most passionate about. Not because I think that, like, the other, obviously, like, 'cause to me, like, I will say as well, like for example, like, Pyro is, like, something I just never feel satisfied by a lot. I love using the move sets of a character with Pyro, but the actual elemental application isn't always the most fun thing in the world. And if I can look through my characters here, just to see if I'm lying here, if there's any characters that I'm like, that's Pyro, that uses fun Pyro, I guess. Oh, you could say Hu Tao, but again, Hu Tao's moveset is good because of her moveset, not because of the actual element, right? Whereas, oh, well, Xiangling. Yeah, no, Xiangling for sure. Xiangling has an unbelievably satisfying Pyro move for sure. She definitely does. Gamin is not because of the Pyro, it's because of his moveset. I'm trying to see, like, is there any, like, other... Because, yeah, Xiangling definitely breaks the mold. Xiangling breaks the mold. What do you think? Xiangling definitely breaks the mold of what I'm talking about here. But besides that, there's not many other characters that, like, enact Pyro that I'm kind of like, it's satisfying to use. I think Xiangling is satisfying to use. But with Electro characters, I feel like it's always satisfying. Auroran, satisfying. Inasan, satisfying. Prune is Electro as well, right? No, Ice. Okay. We haven't got to use them yet. You know what I mean? Very, very satisfying. Electro is satisfying. It's a satisfying feeling to use. And I know, like, it's because, like, it just feels powerful. But even Kaching's, like, ultimate. You can feel the, like, electricity. It's so sick. Yeah, it's unbelievably satisfying to use as well. He's Electro as well, right? Yeah, another satisfying one. But yeah, as I said, Xiangling's very satisfying to use. Fischl's unbelievably satisfying to use. But yeah, I would say Electro. It is the most satisfying moveset. It's always fun to use. You can feel it. It almost feels like, again, especially when it's... And you could say, well, Calvin, like, combo it is what it's really good. Yeah, and I agree. When you combo Electro with anything, it's so fun. It's so fun. So yeah, I would say Electro is my pick for that. Is there any other place here we need to activate the waypoints? We do not. The Nar Stone Circle. I didn't think we'd have, like, enough places to explore in this area, but we do. Like, it's actually, like, a lot bigger than I thought. We also have this area over here, too, that we can look at as well. But I feel like this is, like, almost the last area. The dark side of the moon. Salted Caramel says, what are your expectations for the next region? And again, it's kind of coupled together. As I said, like, a lot of them are about these questions are about Snezhnaya, but that's what I wanted as well. Like I wanted like a mixture. And again, I love answering the questions that are just basically about like Genshin, and then also having a bunch of questions about Snezhnaya. It's been really, really fun. So we have a good variety, and I like that as well. But yeah, in terms of expectations, I expect to see a new culture. I want there to... Oh yeah, we have this. That's why it's... Oh, I forgot about that. How do we combat this again? It's one waypoint. We might just leave this because again, we look. Yeah, I might leave this waypoint because I forgot how to combat it. You just have to activate. Oh no, it's the area below, right? It's the sand itself. Yeah, so we have to like find a way to like get out of here as well and get out of that. So we have to activate like our powers. But yeah, I expect to see like a really beautiful new culture. I expect to see a new infrastructure, a new way of like living. And when I say new way of living, I mean like I want to see these characters and this new world. I want to see like how they navigate these their own space and time, right? Because it's one of those things where I think is like so important to me. Just to make sure that we get a vibe for this world that it is different from I don't think we can't navigate. I think it's this way. Yeah. That it is different from... Yeah, I might just not explore this location. We kind of like already explored it anyway. Yeah, and I feel like we kind of explored a lot of the moon as well. I want to go back to Mondstadt for a second. Because there is places here where I haven't gotten this thing, like this boss over here we haven't gotten as well, this location over here. Yeah, let's head there to the sanatorium. But yeah, new cultures, new vibe, new energy of the people, new foods I want to see as well. I really want to feel like there is like something about this world that like is like different. And I think we always get that when it comes to Genshin. Like, we always get, like, okay, like, yeah, I said, Nalcry is different from Nala. Nala is so different from Sumeru. Sumeru is so different from Fontaine. It's like, we want a different vibe. Like, as I said, like, when we go into Fontaine, you get this theatrical, almost movie-like quality. Everyone's very grand, and they're always about the next project that they're doing and stuff like this, but there's, like, a deeper underbelly of, like, ooh, what's happening here? When you go to Sumeru, it's, like, very in touch with nature and how beautiful that is. But there's also like, you know, seedy stuff going on underneath, but it is very in touch with nature. I want there to be like, again, a cultural, oh, very cool, like a windmill, a cultural difference. I want there to be such a difference that like from the second I step in there, it feels different. It feels like a different energy, and that's what I kind of expect for this game as well. Beautiful location here, man. Absolutely gorgeous. So gorgeous. I mean, I think that this is one of my favorite new additions to the game they've ever done. It's so pretty. So pretty. Is this team good, by the way? I don't even know if it's good. I don't. This is my usual team. Maybe I don't even think. Maybe Nahida's not supposed to be on this team. Because this doesn't seem right. Layla and Jean seem correct, but Nahida seems not correct. I'll see, because I don't know who I'd replace for Nahida. Like, maybe we might put Fischl to have electro boost or something, or maybe Benny. Oh no, would it be
Chivalry will never die.
Sing Show? I don't know. But yeah, this is a beautiful location as well. I love this new area. I love the way that Dormanport feels. And again, in terms of just Dormanport in general, like, what a great idea they have for this location. It's so cool. Something that's been like a party in Genshin stories for a while.
Get back on track.
But now is like it's now fully realized as well. Do you think we'll see Lowen up here? Put the dog over there as well. Because Lowen is usually like hanging. Well, he was, but then see after his quest, I think he's on a leave of absence, isn't he? He got suspended for a bit. To do a few experimentations and all of a sudden you get arrested. Oh, so oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, I manipulated, you know, this. Did I just warp to the same place? Sorry that I manipulated everyone. No, I think Lowen's character is such a... And again, I think even like Nick Wolfhard said this too, he's a beautifully tragic character, but has so much depth to him. Lowen would usually... Oh, he's here. He's back to work. Lowen's back to work. He's back to work. Thank God. There, perfect. Wait, Lowen, is that a report you're writing? It's a surprise. Paimon, I figured you hate paperwork more than Varka does. Not at all. This simply is part of a captain's responsibility, even if only vice captain for now. This report concerns the personnel arrangements for the expeditionary force upon the return. It still needs to be reviewed by the Cardinal Seamus, who was in charge of the administration during the expedition. By the way, if you happen to be heading to Mondstadt, would you mind taking this with you? Of course. Yeah, sure. That's precisely why I entrusted to you, Honorary Knight. Okay. Lowen's work report. That's so cool. Lowen is such a great design as well. As I said, like to me, he like has such a edge to him, but also give me cute aggression. There's no in between. I feel like there's like I'm like, you're so scary, and then grab his cheeks. It's both cuteness, aggression, and also fear. But obviously now there's less fear because obviously we know him better. We know his story. We know that he is what he went through and the trauma he went through. And I think he's meant to be a little bit like, you know, he's meant to have like a very like not a mean streak, but like kind of a vicious streak. That's his character. But we don't shame him for that. I don't want that to leave. I don't want his vicious streak to be gone. That's not what I feel about that. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes, you know, when we always talk about this with Vaughn, how like when Vaughn changed, I think, you know, I had people saying like, well, he's still kind of rude. And it's like, yeah, I want Vaughn to be a little bit rude. I want him to be a little bit snarky. I don't want him to lose his snark forever. And you see, he's like bit by bit, he becomes less and less snarky, right? And that's fine. I love him for that. I do not want him to lose his snarkiness. I do not want that. You may want that. I do not want that. I want there to be a thing with Vaughn where like he is nice. He's so nice now. Look at him with Paimon and all this stuff. But I want him always to still have a bit of snark. You know, I want that. Just like with Lowen, I want him always to have a little bit of like freak in him. You know, I want that little bit of freak in Lowen. Yeah, I do. The next question is from Purple Popple 6348. Are you hoping or do you think they might add a new game mechanic like the Saurians and Nalan or Kuvaki? But we love watching your videos. Your positive attitude is always super nice. Thank you so much. It's very easy to stay positive because I always play amazing games and have a really great audience. So it's very difficult for me to ever get truly like upset. In terms of like different powers and abilities, I think there will be a new traversal method. I think there will be new like mechanics like that as well. But I think one of the issues that always runs into me as well for new regions is that while there will be fun stuff, like the Kuvaki stuff is really like great in terms of like just being very simple and it's easy to use. But one of the biggest issues that we will encounter, I think, in future regions for me, and this is something I will always say is like it's the greatest thing in the world, and it's also the biggest detriment to Genshin now, is that Nalan had the best traversal methods in the history of this game, and we will never be able to top it. Now, here's the thing. I say never, but like all they have to do is like, and I know that you probably don't want to do it, just like copy Nalan in some ways. Like make it so that like maybe everyone has their own special traversal methods again, right? And it's like one of the things I know Genshin doesn't want to do that because they want everything to feel very distinct, but it doesn't have to be like, you can make it like be like a thing where it's like, if we're going to the snow, people are able to like roll down a hill into a snowball to traverse places. That'd be hilarious and so fun, right? Make it so that there is like a special way that people can traverse. Like maybe like in the snow they have like they're like snow wheels on their shoes, like wheelies on their shoes where they travel like through the snow with the wheels on them. And that would be that would be able to like stand toe to toe with Nalan, right? But the problem I always have with like new mechanics is that like Nalan got it perfect.
Observe and know my
What?
heart.
Too strong.
Judgment.
I did not expect this.
Hear me. Not now.
Recorded. Each deed will be judged.
I don't remember how to do this fully,
Justice o'clock.
but hopefully we will remember it as time goes on, as we're in the battle.
Justice o'clock. Stars, shine for me.
This is the guy that brings us to the place, right? Originally.
No, my sword.
The music's crazy.
Recorded. Each deed will be judged.
Rain outlines your fate.
Yeah, this is sick. This is so sick.
Ocean stars inscribed.
The night is cold. Heads up! Hi! Yeah! Kapow! Charge! Yeah!
We stopped one of them.
Divine flames. Is all that is mutable.
Cold. Lines of command.
But yeah, we can talk about this here as well. Yeah, as I said, like I think that Nalan just has like the most perfect traversal methods. I think that like it's to the point that I truly believe that it's like they shot themselves in the foot a little bit. Cause like, and again, I know like not everyone got to do the traversal methods, but like even like stuff like as Saurians is so great, right? The Saurian mechanics. I don't know why I was sitting with Layla there.
Heads up! It's justice o'clock. Headbutt. Hero incoming.
Required.
But yeah, I would say this is a really fun boss to fight.
No, my sword.
Music is beautiful. Yeah, I think it's gonna be difficult, but I think that we will expect new mechanics. I think that it would be so fun to use the snow, right? Use the snow. Use the snow as much as you can. That's what I want. Utilize exactly what we'd expect, right? Just the way Natlan used like the phlogiston, just like the way that like Nalkarai used the Kavaki. Use the snow. Like, I genuinely think like having a characters like skiing would be great. Like having characters like, having shoes that literally let them fly around the place as well, like in terms of like like in terms of not correct. Here we go. Is there a place I haven't activated here as well? Yeah, I stand by it. I don't think it'll be fun for me to try and find all these, so we won't be finding them. I just being completely real with you guys. Apologies. Let's go get this one. It's just the way things go. It's the way I feel. It's the way it's staying. I look at it and I know it's not gonna be fun to go around here. I just know it won't be. That's staying the same way, and I'll stand by it. Yeah, utilize the snow. Utilize the snow in some way. Don't shy away from it. And it doesn't matter if it's cheesy. Do something cheesy. As I said, do like a snowball thing. Do a thing where like we're literally rolling down. Oh yeah. Do a thing where we're rolling down a hill.
Running late again.
Right? We're rolling down a hill. Where's the waypoint? Oh, it's here. Oh my god, these wolves.
Witness the power of justice o'clock. Hero incoming.
I messed up that combo.
Barbados, guide us.
The night is cold. Headbutt. Hero incoming. It's justice o'clock.
Abyssal Cruel. Oh god, it's a full-on thing.
Rain outlines your fate. Not now. Cold. Lines of command. It's justice o'clock. Yeah. It's justice o'clock. Yeah.
Breast is so fun to use. She's so fun to use.
No, my sword. Yeah. Charge. Oof. Kapow. Hero incoming. Yeah.
I didn't expect this to be here at all, actually.
Don't be scared. Ring cutter. Yeah. Heads up. It's justice o'clock. Yeah. Headbutt. Hero incoming. Yeah. My guiding stars.
But I think that's what's so interesting about Genshin is like there's so many things on the map. Like that you'd be here for days and days. And I always say as well, like I know some people always say like, oh well, like what if you don't have good characters you can't play this game? I disagree so much. Like because I think that the free characters you get from events you can literally rip apart this game. I think if I'm not mistaken, can't you get like maybe I'm wrong. But dude, they give free 4 stars away all the time. That can rip apart this game. You shaved me. I'm going to heaven now. Wow. He's got eyeballs going to heaven.
Thank you for your service. We will remember this, Lupercurn. What is your name?
Farasa?
Vanessa. Beautiful name. Do you want to join the wolves?
No, I have my own stuff, my own home and stuff.
What's wrong with the wolves?
There's nothing. I don't.
You want to roll around the dirt for a bit?
No, literally no.
It's fun.
Okay. Okay. Let's do it. Peter Parker asks, our siblings said to meet us at the end of our journey when we finally understood what the world truly is. So how are your opinions on things changed from the beginning of Conria? Beginning like Conria, Celestia, Phanes, Sinners, Archons, Harbingers, Tsaritsa, our siblings, etc. Also, how excited and scared are you to finally witness the end of our journey? I mean, the sibling once again. Well, I don't know, like, what's going to happen in Snezhnaya, I'll just be real with you. But obviously, like, you know, it is, like, you know, the culmination of, like, a lot of stuff here as well, right? In terms of how my feelings have changed over time, personally, like, I think they have changed quite a bit. I think that, like, what's the beauty of Genshin, I think one of the perfect examples you can look at is, like, if you look at my earlier episodes and, like, how I felt about the Harbingers, I consistently and constantly, how are you doing, sirs? I consistently and constantly, like, would badmouth the Harbingers. And it usually was a thing where I'd be like, the perfect example is Rosaline. I cheered for her loss. I cheered for her losing. I cheered for her losing to the... I don't know if I cheered for her, but I thought it was like a really epic moment when she lost the fight to... Well, not even a fight. She lost a battle or a slaughter to the Raiden Shogun, right? I did. I cheered for him. And I don't know if I don't use the word cheer, but I think I was like very much like, okay, yeah, she did something bad. It's over, right? You did something bad. Now I look at the Harbingers in such a different light. I look at Rosaline in a completely different light. I think anyone can see as well. Yeah, these guys. See you later. See you later. I look at Rosaline in a different light. Whereas now, like, I went from being like, you know, she got destroyed after what she did to Venti, to being like, man, I wish we had more time with her. And I was one of those people, like, I'm not even joking, can I be real with you guys? Like, I was one of those people that when people were like, we need, like, a playable Rosaline, I used to be like, what's the big deal? You know, what's the big deal? What are you talking about? To now being like, I would adore having, like, Rosaline in this game again in some ways, you know? I would adore having her in this game again. That's not only that, but, like, it's also, like, I think that I've also developed a more negative view of the Harbingers, not the Harbingers, but, like, the Fatui as well, while also still having a positive view. I think that, like, there is Fatui out there that are still evil. They're still horrible. They're still bad people. Look what they were going to do to Jet that time, right? But I think now I have a way softer approach. Because, again, even in Fontaine, I was, like, ready to fight Arlecchino for what was happening with Farina. And I still stand by, like, that wasn't a nice thing to happen for Farina. But I now, as you guys would probably estimate, like, I have a lot of respect for characters like that. I have a lot of respect for the Harbingers. And I think it's one of those things where, like, it's a combination over time. Things do change. Your perception does change. When it comes to our sibling and how our feelings have changed in our sibling, I think that's one of the most interesting things ever as well. We're like when we lost our sibling first, what's the first, and it doesn't matter if you're playing as Lumine or Aether, what's the first feeling you might have? Our sister or brother is lost. Our sister or brother is in a position now where they are, you know, how do I say it? Where they are, like, in trouble. They're probably captured. Over time, you realize how not only sentient they are, but how in control your sibling really is. And how, and not maybe not control, but, like, how much they are, like, you know, the journey they've been on. And I went from being like, oh, we need to save our sister, to being like, our sister has, like, a plan. Our sister is doing stuff. Our sister has an idea what they want to do. This looks like it could be an electric battle. So I'm going to switch to Navia's team. So there is, like, a different perception there. What else did you ask for? What my perception has changed in this stuff as well? If I can just say here. Oh yeah, Sinners, Archons. Sinners, I still think like I'm terrified of them. That hasn't really changed a lot. I think I've become more terrified of them. Archons, I think they're like they went from being like this epic thing when I heard about them the first time to being like, oh my god, I actually like, which, you know, some people might say, well, what about Venti? But I think even like people underestimate Venti all the time. And I think Venti has more of a godly feel to him that people give him credit for. Yeah, he's like funny and he's charming. The whole point is that like, again, he's the showcase of really early on in the game that like, you're not going to be treating these characters as like real gods, as like gods you would see in other games. They're supposed to be more grounded. But I think that's a really cool visual, right? But I think it's like one of those things where, yeah, like I always like thought I revered them, but and as more and more time has gone on, you realize how grounded they are and how beautiful they are. And I feel like I've always like, you know, had a love for meeting Archons. But I think also as well, you can't paint them all with the same brush either as well. Like meeting Mavuika for the first time, for example. That was the first like traditional meeting of like a god, right? Where it's like, oh my god, like they are like what you expect to see in, which again works. Like you could say like, oh, is that a cliche? Then no, it works because through the whole time of this game, they've had this thing where like whenever you meet like a Archon, in most cases, it's in a very grounded fashion. It's unusual. It's very different from what we usually have in this game too. So like it's always like a very different feeling, right? Like for example, when you meet Venti for the first time, you don't meet them as an Archon, even though they have like a very heavenly, angelic feel about them in my view, as I said. When you meet what happened there? Oh, they changed. When you meet Zhongli for the first time, again, it's a different vibe. They want you to feel grounded with them. When you meet the Reigning Shogun, it is claustrophobic, it is oppressive, it is a dangerous feeling, right? It's so dangerous. When you meet Farina, it feels very dramatic and theatrical. When you meet Nihida, it's like almost like dreamlike and ethereal. When you meet Mavuika, as I said, it's like it's traditional, so that means like when it's so traditional, it actually stands out so much so as well, where it's like this is like a traditional meeting of like a god in an RPG, like a queen in an RPG. You know, Columbina is like otherworldly as well. Like it's all different, but I feel like I have like, you know, gotten closer to the idea of them being very grounded characters as well. In terms of this is the first time I've farmed in this game, by the way, like, and it's just for fighting these bosses. Cool boss, by the way, really cool boss. It's the first time I've actually farmed in this game, like in about 6 months maybe. But yeah, I think my feelings in the Archons is just I love them more in terms of being more grounded, and then also as well. Archons, Harbingers, Sinners, Phanes. The Heavenly Principle stuff, like I've only grown no more negative about them. Just being real. I've only grown more aggressive towards them, more hateful towards them. I know people are gonna be like, well, no, like you know, in my view, they're not gonna be all bad. In my view, they're actually, you know, not gonna be just, they're not meant to be like this like a big baddie or whatever. And I totally get that. I'm not trying to sit here and say like, you know, that it's not gonna be like, you know, complicated. But like my view is that they like. Everything in Genshin is complicated, right? In some cases, right? From my view, like for example, I don't think Tori is complicated. I hate him. I think he's evil, right? And again, someone could say, well, what about if he has a darker backstory? Yeah, for sure, but that doesn't change like the truth of his actions. And it's the same thing with me with the Heavenly Principles. It's like I can't look at their actions and not just be more hateful towards them every single time. And that's why, again, I'm not gonna sit here and ever argue with someone like to be like, you're wrong about your feelings on the Heavenly Principles and it being a little bit more like, you know, complicated, or like thinking that it's gonna be more of a complicated story, you know? Because obviously, like, you know, I could be a hypocrite when all of a sudden I start talking about the Shades and like, and I want to meet the Shades and talk to the Shades and interact with the Shades, but because I know they are like working like with the Heavenly Principles, right? But for me, it's just like I've grown more hateful towards the Heavenly Principles. I've grown more hateful towards the gods. As I said all the time, when people talk about like the Tory wanting to stop the gods, I am with him. Or like, but it's obviously the way about going about it. If our sister came to us right now and said, "Hey, get in the car. We're going to kill some gods," I am like breaking through the window feet first to get into that car, right? Not the gods, but I mean like in terms of the Heavenly Principles. You know, not the gods. I love the Archons. But yeah, like that's my view on it. Look at this beautiful place, man. This little like alcove area. What is this? Oh, is that another quest too? That looks so fun. Remind me of that, guys, please. Wait, it's a bunker? Oh, guys, no, I shouldn't go here just yet. Okay, no, that's awesome, whatever that is. It seems like there's some sort of apocalyptic like bunker as well. It's so cool. But yeah, my view of the Heavenly Principles has already gone worse. I hate them more now than I did before. We explore over here, right? Or most places here, I think. We did, yes. We did. Yeah, that's just my view right now. It might change. We didn't get this. Don't know why, but we can. And G-Money says, I'd be interested in hearing your top 3 character quests and maybe your least favorite ones too, if you're feeling spicy. Just being completely real with you. I don't like. I'd have to like get a list of every single character quest, every single. Oh, we have them in the menu, don't we? We do. 1 second. 1 second. Whereabouts is that, by the way? Quests? No. Whereabouts was that? I know there was like a place where you could check. Is it here? Here it is. Okay. No. Oh my God, Genshin! No, just let me know. Just let me look at this. Okay, stop for a second. Thank you. Okay, so these are all the story quests, right? Is Linnea here too? Yes. Okay. So how about this? From what I remember, I will go through them right now and say which ones I remember or which ones I think are good and like amazing. Yeah. So Lowen's quest, incredible. Love the pacing of it. Such a deftful character. Linnea is so fun but so emotional and beautiful as well. Varka's quest was crazy with an amazing ending as well. Durin's stuff was also like really like unique. And also he's adorable, so I really enjoyed it too. Skirk was like a turning point for the entire series, I feel like, that whole stuff there with the training stuff as well. Escoffier, really great self-contained quest. Really enjoyed this a lot. And I think Escoffier is like a really great character regardless, and I think she's kind of underrated, and I hope they use her again because I really enjoyed this quest. Mizuki, love the characters in this quest and like Mizuki as a character. If I could be real with you, like over time, I've kind of like lessened my love for this quest. It's like, not that it isn't a great quest, because again, like I had fun at the time, but I feel like, you know, sometimes over time things can change in your view, and I feel like it's like less memorable than the other quests, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Mavuika's quest, I think, like, you know, makes her character come full circle. Emily's quest is like a freaking horror mystery, which is also like a really cool idea, which is awesome too. Sigewinne is a character as well that, like, I think is super sweet. I remember really enjoying this quest quite a bit also. Clarand, I'm pretty sure like with this quest was like, yeah, this was the D&D quest, right? I believe so. Arlecchino's quest is one of the greatest of all time. It's absolutely insane how this was just an epic moment in time. I remember playing this and like it felt like it was one of those quests that felt like an event on the channel when people were talking about it as well. And it felt like that for me too. Chiori's quest, I love her as a character as well, but I feel like her quest kind of gets pushed to the wayside. But again, characters in this quest are great, and I enjoyed this quest a lot too, but I just mean in memory it gets kind of pushed to the wayside a little bit. But I like her as a character. Shanyun, emotional, absolutely beautiful, emotional and stunning, and what she did for the Traveler in that quest is incredible. Navia, I think Navia's quest is one of my favorites of all time, just because it's such a warm feel. And again, she's one of my favorite characters, but like I love the quest. The actual ending to that quest is so epic and incredible too. But Navia as a character is like my favorite Genshin character, so of course I was going to love this. Farina's quest, if I remember correctly, it was all about Farina getting back on her feet, which is a really great thing as well. I think that this quest it divided the community, right? It really did. So I don't think it's the best quest out of all of them. In fact, I wouldn't put Farina's in top 10. And we will do like a top 5 after this as well to show my top 5 maybe. But like Farina's quest is like, I wouldn't put it in the top 10, but it's still really, really good. Wriothesley Dark quest, if I remember correctly. Nuvalet's quest was another stunning quest, with the ending being like the stuff with the rain, which is really gorgeous too. Linny's quest is really short, but such a fantastic like moment. And I think it also like, you know, makes us like, you know, endeared to Linny by an amazing degree. Both Yoimiya quests are beautiful. This one was the one where we went to Sumeru, right? In the end as well. Baiju made me like the character a lot more. Not that I didn't like the character, but I fell in love with the character here. I just never liked his outfit. But I love him as a character. Diaz quest. Being complete Ryochi again, like I don't remember a lot from Diaz quest, but you know what? You know what's gonna happen? No, I do. This is when she was a little baby. I remember that. That was a great moment. Yeah, we played so many quests that sometimes it's gonna skip my mind. But I remember really enjoying this quest as well. It had a lot of history, but it slipped my mind a little bit. I'll hate them. I think he's hilarious during this, but it also can get very serious, and it got very dark, I believe, too, right? When it came to the people like it was like mind control stuff as well. Nahida. Both quests are pretty freaking incredible. I think Act 2 is the one that people like always remember the most with the stuff with the pep. Nilu. Again, I love her as a character, but I don't remember. I think this is on with the play where they were like her dad, or was it? Or what? No, her dad. I think it was the debates about whether the play was like viable. Yeah, but it was really, really good as well. Sino Act 1 and 2. Yeah, just incredible. Absolutely just insane stuff. Tanari had like was the first, I think, story quest he did in Sumeru, and it had like a really like heavy emotional weight to it when it came to like the stuff with like the laboratory we found. Kazuha. Again, another like one that was like really showed how emotionally these can be, and really stunning. Elon, I mean, I remember this was about the chasm, but again, I don't remember everything about it because I remember in the end we like we did a big sting or whatever operation, but again, it's one of those ones that slips my mind a little bit. Ayato, I remember we like uncovered some really crazy thing in like a cave, and I remember with Ayato it was like a really like political quest, which is really cool too. Yaimiko's quest, it solidifies her as one of the greatest characters in the entire game. Beautifully emotional ending, some darker moments and some spooky moments. Ito's is hilarious, but also you get the depth of his character and how passionate he can be. Kokomi as well, you get endeared to her a lot in this quest too. The Radiant Shogun quests are her trying to learn how to be a better leader. Eula's quest, man, oh my god. This was very like funny, charming, but also again shows like the almost like family trauma that can happen in a game as well. Hu Tao, one of the quests that like I think early on is like, oh yeah, these quests are like absolutely incredible. These quests can be absolutely insane. She's hilarious. She's so charming, but also again it has this big epic quality to kind of like the ghostly aspects of it. Shao is one. I remember it ends when we're eating dinner with him, right? Or eating food with him. Emotional, heavy, shows the depth of Shao. Albedo. I don't remember Albedo's quest, and this is why. Albedo is involved in so many story quests now where he's like such a central figure that I remember all the stuff that happened with Albedo, but I can't pinpoint it to a specific quest. I'll just be honest. I don't know what happened in a specific story quest, but I do know that there like is a there's a lot of stuff there as well. Ganyu as well was such a long time ago, but I know it also was about us helping her as well. I think there was like probably the work-life balance stuff in there too. Tartagulas, man, what an this was needed after everything that happened there as well, and like look at the mid-rift as well. But yeah, this was needed for his character for sure. Not because he wasn't a great character, but this like made us really endeared to him. Both Zhongli acts have epic moments, amazing boss battles, and emotional historical weight to him losing his friends. Mona, really fun, really charming. Klee is involved as well, I believe, which is really fun too. Venti, I mean, the weight of sitting on those hands together as we talk to him and at the end of that quest is something I'll never forget. Jean, this was also something that she deserved. She got a lot of appreciation for the people that loved her in the game as well. This is one of the first quests we did also. And Klee is just hilarious, adorable, the funniest character in the world, so great. In terms of my 5 favorite, I'm going to pick this off the cuff. I think that in terms of my 5 favorite quests, I'm going to put Tartagula. That emotional thing that happens at the end there, I think it's one of those things that like made us like bawl our eyes at one of the earliest cries. Hu Tao, again, as I said, like that whole ghostly stuff that was happening there as well, but also it's one of the best introductions to a character ever. I think I would have said Shao if we didn't have so many other amazing ones, but Shao's one is great. It shows so much depth to his character, but I don't think it's top 5 anymore, which is crazy for me. Even though I love his character, he's in my top 5 favorite characters, I wouldn't put him in my top 5 anymore. So Hu Tao, Tartagula, Yaimiko, Easily. That's 3. Let's see here. 4. I think, yeah, 5 as well. There's a, but I'm going to see, I'm trying to put a lot of them into, and we're going to narrow it down afterwards. 6. And you can say it's recency stuff, but I don't care. 7, 8. I love Lona and Lea's. So if I had to take out 3 of them. If I had to take out 3 of them. It's very tough. You know what? Let's make it even tougher. Let's just pick our 3 favorites, like you said in the comment. So let's go with Navia's is definitely up there. Yai Miko's is another one, and it's between Arlecchino. Skirk is so good. Skirk is a turning point. This is so hard. You know what? Arlecchino, Navia, and Yai Miko. Those are my 3 favorites. There we go. And if you had to pick one, this is so cruel, but if I had to pick one least favorite out of all these, like one, I would say you'd have to say like Mizuki or Chiori, right? But that's not fair because I don't remember them. I might like go back and look at the videos and say I really liked them a lot, because I think the story quests are some of the best sections of the game. Because no bad ones. I want to make that clear. There's no bad ones here. There's not even nearly a bad one. Like they're all great to superb in my view. But I'd have to say then it's probably like Mizuki or Chiori. Not because I remember like in Mizuki's quest, there's like, you know, the stuff that's happening at the bathhouse, her crying after like, consuming all the dreams stuff like this as well. I remember Chiori when it came to like the competition, was it? Or maybe I'm thinking at the end. It all melds together sometimes in my mind, but I'll go with Chiori. Yeah, I'll go with Chiori. Yeah, that's what I'll go with. Very cool. Okay, so I was gonna activate this, but we're actually out of questions here as well, and I'm actually like very happy with the exploration we did in this episode as well, guys. Let's go back to Mondstadt for a bit here for a second now as well. Very happy with the exploration we had here as well. Thank you so much for your questions. I hope I didn't like, you know, I probably rambled a lot. I probably like, you know, bull crapped a lot. But I just like, I'm a yapper. I'm definitely a yapper, you know. And next week, we will be going to Snezhnaya. This is the last gameplay video of Genshin before I head to Snezhnaya. It is now it is official. I will not be playing the game again until this Wednesday when Snezhnaya happens. And I think that's a very exciting, but also terrifying feeling, right? That is whilst like I understand that it's like also like, you know, a wonderful feeling. Like I won't sit here and pretend like it's not like, you know, you know what's weird? I'm not nervous in terms of like, oh my God, what are we going to do? It's just nerves in terms of like, man, like this is one of the most, I would argue this is the most important one yet. Not because like the other ones weren't important, but because you guys would probably agree that this is like huge. This is huge. But it's happening. It is happening. And what I would say is this, we will be taking our time. I know other channels will, again, I hope it never sounds like I'm bad about other channels when I say this. I'm just saying how, like, I know other people told me other channels do it. Other channels will probably upload it, like, right away, which is, you know, again, nothing wrong with that. But it will be a thing where, like, it probably will take us a bit to go through all this stuff because I'm not going to be, I'm going to be taking my time. I'm going to be yapping like crazy. I'm going to be, you know, it's the same as always. We will be playing this for weeks on end until we have downtime again, and then we'll do another quest after that as well. We are going to be going Snezhnaya crazy with this stuff, and I can't wait to do it. What's going to happen is we're going to have a video of Snezhnaya on Friday next week. It will obviously release on Patreon and YouTube members on Wednesday, but it will release on Friday publicly. Then on Sunday, there'll be another episode. And then we'll have another episode until we finish like each quest. We'll be doing it like that every single week. And you can expect that as well. I'm excited. I'm really excited. And like, I want to say something before we like end this video, because I obviously like I appreciate you guys a lot. And I appreciate this whole thing we did here as well. And the playthrough we've done. I've been playing this game now for 2.5 years, which is crazy to think about, right? It's crazy to think about. It's insane to think about. And we've done a lot in this game. Like, someone mentioned that I played this game so much in the past 2.5 years, more than like most players probably would worldwide. And that's not me being like, I play so much, I'm just saying that like I feel like, you know, I play like every story quest that comes out. I play every like, you know, like a major world quest if I can. I play every like Archon quest, but like I love this game so much. I love this game dearly. It is still something that I could like, because I think I often see sometimes people like, oh, maybe you can like replace Genshin with this or something like that as well. I couldn't. I just couldn't. It's just it means so much to me. And also, we played through this game for a full year and we played 4 episodes a week. Looking back, I don't know how I did it. Now you can say, well, Calvin, you will be doing 4 videos a week technically with like Honkai and Genshin, but I feel like the difference was, guys, that's not what happened with Genshin, right? 4 2-hour videos a week around there, like, is not that bad. I want you to think of it from the perspective of like, I want you to think of it with the perspective of what we were actually doing in that year. And again, I had no fatigue, but looking back, like, I don't know if I could do it again just because, like, right, you know, it's a different mindset, right? There was some weekends where I would do a story quest that was 3 hours, another story quest that was 4 hours, a world quest that was like 3 hours, and then do like the start of an Archon quest that was 2 hours. And there was I didn't blink. I didn't even think about it. I was just like, we're just doing it. Looking back now, it's like, you know, that it's kind of crazy, but like, I don't think you got, like, I know you guys probably like, it's hard to catch up, but I think even you guys were like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. And then we went into like the more modern version of like our playthroughs, which is like 2 Genshin videos a week, sometimes 1 Genshin video a week. And we still had so much fun with that. And oh my God, I caught up at like such an amazing time with all the quests we were getting, like the Dane quest, the Flower Festival, all these different things that were happening almost at the same time. Like, I really caught up at a really amazing time, and it was fantastic and amazing to catch up at that time. And I've been having such a fun time since. The love that I feel for Genshin hasn't changed. I still love this game. And I want to say for you guys, it's so amazing seeing new people come in here and be like, oh my God, I love these videos. And that means so much to me. It's so amazing seeing people who've been here since like the first video being like, oh my God, I still love this stuff. And I'm like, that's amazing. It's fun seeing people that don't show up all the time, but then show up like every once in a while. They're like, hey, it's me, hey. And I'm like, I recognize them. It's like, this is so great. Like, I have a community that is so fantastic and so tight and incredible. So playing games for you guys is actually just such a wonderful experience because there's never any pressure. There's always a feeling of like, we want Roamer to be Roamer. We want you to make the videos that you want to make because we like your videos. And it is a thing where like, I have found an audience that likes the way I do things. And I'm always going to be so appreciative of that. And you guys have really just like made me the happiest person in the world constantly when it comes to Genshin Impact and other games on the channel too. But we're talking about Genshin right now. It means the world to me. I will never truly be able to fully communicate how amazing it is to wake up every day, go to an app called the YouTube Studio app and see the comment section of my videos and be like, because you have to get into a flow state because you're like, you look at every comment, you read every comment, you read what they say, and you know, again, it's so amazing, right? I'm not saying a flow state and like just ignore it. I'm saying like, you know, you appreciate the comments you get and you respond to them and you look at them and you talk about them, and that's a beautiful feeling. But there's that one feeling like almost every day where I'm like, after I get like 10 lovely comments and I respond to them and I'm so happy that I responded to them and I feel amazing, and then I go, man, how crazy is that I have people that are just like commenting on my stuff. It's so crazy. I'm not just talking about lovely comments. People were like, hey, check out the chest over there. Someone took the time to say, check out the chest over there. It's great. You guys are amazing. And I can't wait to go into Snezhnaya, guys. I'm very much ready for this. I'm very ready for this. If you want to see these videos early, you can do so on YouTube members or on Patreon for €1 or whatever is in your currency. And you will get every single Snezhnaya video early and every single Genshin video early and every single video on the channel early. That's coming to you as well. If you want to see your name go by right now, as you see in the text credits, that's the Chunky Baby Gangsta tier at €10, and you get your name in every single video in the credits to every single video. And if you want to hear your name be shouted out as a verbal shout out, that is the I can never repay the Baby Gangsta tier at the highest tier at €15, and that's on YouTube members and Patreon, and you get your name read out in every single video, not just Genshin. And I want to say thank you so much to my patrons first of the highest tier, that being Typharo2, Jamie Bull, Johnny the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicious Felix, Yuled, Anusta, Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, High Casparian, Neo Showerite, Leah 200, Malcolm Kunde, Axler21, and at the highest tier of my YouTube members, Blasco, Lusanagi, and Zay. See you guys so soon. See you guys for Snezhnaya. Bye bye.